Shemai, happy Monday everybody. This is a bit of a bonus one tonight because I usually go to Pilates and sadly my Pilates teacher, little boy, isn't very well, so I've had the night off. So I decided, I watched a fantastic tutorial by Wow Nola Creations. She's got some fabulous videos on YouTube if you're looking for a new card maker to follow. And she made a spinner card. And I thought, right, I'd like to give that a little try. So here's my spinner card. But the main, if I can get it to turn around, the main reason for this video tonight is to show you that any stamp set or bundle or anything you've got will do for this card. So here we go. So you tighten the tension by spinning him round and round and round and round. And then when the recipient opens the card, you can see it turns around. I've had to make a few adjustments from this because what I found, this little tail was hitting the edge of the circle. So just be aware that when you do your own, just make sure that if you've got something that's touching, it is going to affect how it spins. So I've made some minor adjustments to the one I'm doing next with you. The stamp sets I'm using are actually in the annual catalogue, and they are Foxy Friends, which has the punch to match. There's the punch, and here's the stamp set. There's lots of stamps. There's loads of different animals you can make with these, and if you look on Pinterest, there's loads of ideas. People are so clever with what they do. So that's Foxy Friends. Then I also used perhaps a stamp set that might be overlooked in the catalogue, and that is Pick a Pennant, and that's this one. And I must be honest, I've had it a while and it's the first time I've used it, and the little alphabet is absolutely fab. I found the easiest way to stamp those little letters though is to lay your stamped banner in your apparatus, then stick the little letters down. I've used the end of my little spatula tool to get it to stick to the banner, not to my fingers, and then fold the lid down and it keeps it all in one place then to stamp them, and they turn out like this, little rinky-dinky things. So that's Pick a Pennant and Playful Pennants Framelets. So they are from the annual catalogue. I've used a sentiment then from Itty Bitty Birthdays, which is from the Occasions catalogue. I've used one of the Stitch Shapes, which again is in the annual catalogue. And I've used my old circle framelets. I think the nice thing is about this card, you can use anything you've got. You haven't got to buy anything special for it. I know it's always nice to keep buying new things, but we've got such a lot in our craft rooms that we could use, and when we see all these fabulous designs on YouTube and on Pinterest, sometimes it's good to look at our own stash to see what we can use. I've also used a very old pad of paper. It came out with the Foxy Friends. This one is a little foxy, and as you can see, I've used a bit of it, but I've still got lots left. And I am determined this year I am going to do a bit of stash busting and use up some of my stuff rather than just hoarding it. A good tip I watched for using the Foxy Friends, because if you notice, the punch cuts out all the elements separately. So when I've done the fox, he is one complete piece. So what I did is I punched all the pieces out on a bigger piece of card, and that's my template then. I then put that into my stamparatus and I put the little body in there, move the stamp around. Let me show you what the stamp looks like. Move the stamp around so I'm only stamping his body. There he is. As you can see, he's all in one piece. If you were making the raccoon, and you can make a reindeer and all these different ones, they also come in separate pieces, but mainly the fox, because he's got the little details on his forehead, he's all in one piece. Excuse the state of my fingers. I've been fighting with Cajun craze tonight. That enabled me then, I didn't waste any card. I just punched out what I needed, stamped exactly where it should be, and that's all I've used really is this little template. The ink is dry, so I can use that again. That's about the third time I've used this template. So let's get creating. Once again, I've got to apologise for the sound of the boiler in the background, because obviously it's gone a bit colder and the heating has now kicked in. So I'm going to put that to one side. Once again, I've done a little bit of preparation. I've got all the pieces ready. There's my little Foxy Loxy. There he is, all prepared. He's had a little bit of a tailectomy on this one. I did a little bit of surgery, so his tail isn't going to collide with the side of my card. It was all very painless. And there's my sentiment. That's the sentiment from Itty Bitty Birthdays. So the first thing I need to do, let me just show you a little trick as well. I've cut the frame for this part of the card. Can you see that I've got it in Calypso Coral here? I'm doing it in Coastal Cabana. What I did, I have washi taped the two circles I was using to create the frame together. So when I cut the first one, then picked this up as one piece and then cut the next one. However, right now I'm going to need the smaller one. I've also done, this one I thought was a little bit plain, so I've added some stamping to the inside, and what I'm actually going to do then, instead of having a piece of paper, I have found this lovely little doily that I'm going to use instead. As I say, trying to use up my stash. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with a bit of repositional, I am going to stick this to the front of my card. My card is actually a piece of A4 card cut in half and then scored in half. Then I will put the measurements in the directions below. Description, I keep calling them directions for some reason. There we go. I'm going to bring in my big shot and open my card up, and I'm going to use the smaller of the circles here, and I'm just going to, by eye, I'm not going to measure. Perhaps sometimes I should measure it a bit more carefully, but then I always say if it was perfect it'd be factory made and not handmade. There we go. I'm going to cut them both together, but the piece of pattern paper isn't going to stay there. Not yet. He's got a bit more of a job to do yet. There we are. Let's take that off there. So if you wanted, you could either keep your pattern paper and use it underneath, or you could use a doily. I don't know whether to put that underneath and then the doily on top. I'll keep that there a second. So I'm going to take this back off for now. And the repositional, there we go. Just a little tiny bit on the back then. So here's, as I say, I've done lots of preparation ready. So here's my little Foxy Loxy, and I've used the stitch shape framelit. What I'm going to need to do now is, with a bit of the gold thread, here it is, I'm going to double it this time because I did it singly and I think he's lost his shape a little bit. You're going to see how long you're going to need it to be to get to the top and the bottom of your card. And then you're going to try and find, this is the fiddlier part really, I'm going to try and find the centre. I'm going to use my fox and I'm going to put him where he needs to be. And get a bit of double-sided tape ready. And then with my gold thread that I've now doubled, this might cause me all kinds of problems now by doubling it, I'm going to try and get it in the centre of my little swirling, spinning embellishment. I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape just to secure it there. Okay, so let me just check now that he's pretty much where he needs to be. There he is. I think I might need to just, there we go, just move him around gently. What I'm going to do then, what I found the easiest part to do is you need to try to keep the thread quite taut. I'm just going to put a bit of double-sided tape there. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing up there. Keep him nice and tight because that's what will create the tension and make him spin around. There he is. Let him turn around by himself. I'm going to stick the other side then. As I say, the lady from Wow Nola Creations did a beautiful one with butterflies, which was absolutely stunning as well. And I've seen another lady, and I can't remember her name, did a lovely one with a hot air balloon. Because if you're going to stick your embellishment back to back, like if I want to do it and just have the fox back to back, I'd have to stamp him upside down, if you see what I mean. Otherwise, his tail, the way I've done it, his tail is going in a separate direction. So if I'd used him there alongside him, their tails are going in different directions. So that would have caused me a bit of bother. Now then, through here then, is it going to be a slightly easier, I would think, with my doll. First thing I'm going to do is stick this down. I'm going to stick him down with a little bit of Tombow, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room, because with my ATG you only have one shot at it, whereas with Tombow you can wiggle it around a bit until he's in exactly the right place that you want him to be. There's the insert in my card. There we go. Just use my bone folder a second. I'm going to just manoeuvre my doily so it's just behind. I should have done this bit, thinking of it, before I stuck my fox in. So learn from my mistake, peeps. There we go. That's pretty much it. What I'm going to do there is, if I can find a pencil, I'm a bit like this in school. I'm just going to make a little circle there. And here I go then with another little bit of Tombow. I'm just going to put this all around the bigger sections of the doily. Like that. And I'm going to try and centre on that circle. Again, I'm using Tombow so I can shift it about if I need to. There we go. So as you can see now, the doily is sitting just behind the fox. So the next part I need to do now is, with the pattern paper, turn it over. I'm going to use Tombow again for this. You're going to stick that on the front of your card. There we are. And you're going to try it, you've got to line this one up with the circle. This is where I've got to be slightly more precise. I'm not very good at being precise, I've decided. The colours I used for my fox is Cajun Craze. And I use Granny Apple Grey for my trees inside, Granny Apple Grey, Granny Apple Green. And the card itself is Coastal Cabana. Now just going to add the frame, which is cut in Coastal Cabana. Just here, around Foxy Loxy. I read my class the story of Chicken Licking and Foxy Loxy, and they thought it was absolutely hysterical. I can remember that being one of my favourites as I was a child. Then on the inside I'm going to stick another one just to cover up the rough sort of edge. There we go. Right, I'll stick this one inside here then. Just lining it up. Oh, you could then, when you're writing on the card, you could either write down on the trees or over on this side. And I've used the new well-written framelets for this one. And what I did, I doubled them up. But I thought I'd do something a bit different on this. As I say, I've cut out the little pennants ready. There we go. So it's going to look like this. And obviously I'll just trim the edges down then. Here's one I prepared earlier with all the sticky pads. There we go. Stick that one up by there. And I've got two little bows then to go on the edge. What I've done, I've doubled up the foam pads on this one just to bring it up in line. I didn't like the fact that there was two flags spare the one side and one flag spare the other side. So that's why I trimmed it down. Then peeling these off. I'm going to put then, I've just got some of the glitter enamel dots then to go in the centre of the little bows. And then when it's all done, I'm just going to trim off the gold thread. It's coming from the top and the bottom, and we'll see how he spins. Right. And there's the other one there. I'm just going to trim then with my huge scissors. One there, one there. Trim that, trim that. Let's get some little glitter dots. There. Craft knives have a real habit of hiding from me on my desk. They often just hide in plain view. Which reminds me, I do need to book an appointment with Specsavers. There we are. So let's see how he works. So you just spin him, turn it, keep turning him. I'm making a mess of this. And then, so you put him in your envelope like this, and when the recipient opens the card, da-da-da, the magic happens. Foxy Loxy on the front, and it's your day on the back. So there we go. Let's have a closer look. So we've used Foxy Friends and the punch. We've used the circle collection, but as I say, any circle frameless you've got will do. I've used the stitch shapes, but again, any dies you already have will do. The playful pennants and their framelets. Inside then one of the coloured doilies. If you are interested in buying any of these items and you haven't got a Stampin' Up demo, there's the link here to my selling page. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I've now just got over 150 subscribers. Woo! Exciting times. Thank you to all the subscribed. If you are not yet a subscriber, I would love you to click the subscribe button down below. Click on the little bell, which will notify you of any new videos I do. Thank you very much. Hwyl fawr, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.